Hello and welcome to my 30-day yoga challenge. This is day 2. Today we're going to look at Yoga for Inflexible People class. I'll look at a variety of yoga poses to improve your flexibility. So before we start, when seated, if your knees don't naturally open and relax like mine are at the moment, they may be slightly higher. We're going to change the position. So if your knees are very high, which is very common when we first start practicing yoga, I'll turn to the side so you can see better. And your back may be rounded. We want to try and encourage a nice comfortable position. So I'd recommend sitting either on a block or some books to lift the hips higher. So take a moment and find a comfortable position. If it's still not comfortable, you can try with a second block on top of each other, making sure that you feel nice and stable. And often it helps to relax the hips a little bit more. You want to encourage the spine nice and tall, so quite often we round the back, so really very gently draw in the abdomen, tighten the abdominal muscles and pushing in the lower back. So we can rock the hips backwards and forwards a few times, breathing in and out through the nose. This will help to soften and relax the muscles around the hips. And you can support the leg and come into a raised hero pose if this feels more comfortable. Just resting the legs just by the side of the body. Just taking a moment, we'll close the eyes. And just observe how you're feeling. Just observing how is the breath, how is the body, how is this posture. So always remembering in every class to listen to your own body and work with any limitations you may have. And remember, the more you practice anything, the more natural and relaxing it will become. So try and practice this video as often as you can to improve your flexibility. So very slowly now, we'll start to blink open the eyes. Bring the arms to the side of the body. As you inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And interlace the fingers and push the palms up towards the ceiling. Stretching the hands, you can either look out in front of you or up towards the hands, whatever feels comfortable on the neck. As you exhale, lower the hands roughly in line with the heart. Separate the shoulder blades and allow your head just to relax, tucking under the chin, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Next breath in, raise the arms back overhead. Exhale, bring the hands behind the neck. Or come into some cat-cow variation. So inhale, raise the chest and opening the elbows. And as you exhale, draw in the abdomen. Imagine that you want to touch your forehead to your thighs. Drawing in the elbows. So inhale, really arch the back, open the elbows. And exhale very gently around. So this is improving flexibility in the spine. Inhale, lifting, looking up. And exhale very gently round, also stretching the shoulders and the arms. Release the arms as you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, gently lower, taking the same grasp behind the back. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, looking up. Just pause, and then exhale, gently release. Just pause just for a moment, just observing how the back feels now. And then gently coming off of the blocks, make your way down into a seated position, moving everything out of the way. We'll straighten the legs and we'll just walk out the legs just to relax the legs just for a moment before we come into a seated forward fold. So again, when we have tight hamstrings, it feels sometimes uncomfortable to have the legs straight. So you can either use a block or a pillow underneath the knees. You may want to use 2 blocks to support the knees. We'll take a deep breath in, the spine nice and tall, stretch the arms up overhead, and as you exhale, we'll come into a forward fold here. So you may just want to rest here. You may want to round the back. So the more you practice this video, the more that you'll notice that your body starts to soften and the muscles relax. And you can lower the blocks down or eventually do this position without any blocks underneath the knees. Just observing where you feel this stretch, inhaling and exhaling nice and slowly. Just through the nose if you can. Now to come out of this pose, we'll inhale, bring the hands back towards the hips, support the weight of the body slowly coming up. We'll remove the blocks and we'll come into a one-legged seated forward fold. So you can either use a tie, a scarf. If you have a strap, you can use a strap. So again, you can have your feet a little bit further away if it feels more comfortable. You can bring a block underneath the knee. Bring the strap around the ball of your right foot, and you can bring another block underneath the bent knee if your knee is very high. So always supporting the body, and then we can slowly remove them with practice. So sitting up nice and tall, take a breath in. As you exhale, just gently lowering just for a moment, just observing how this feels, walking the hands towards the feet, only if it feels comfortable. Pausing. And we're going to pause here for a few breaths. So I'm just going to demonstrate as the more you practice, the more that the body will soften and relax with time and with patience. So it's very important just to go until you feel a gentle stretch. We'll inhale gently to come up. We'll remove the blocks. And then come into the same position without the block under the knee. And observe the difference. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So if you do start to practice this video regularly, please leave me a comment below to let me know how you're progressing the more that you practice. To release the strap, we'll inhale, slowly come up. Remove the block, and we'll bring the leg on the sole of the foot onto the mat to come into a spinal twist. So the spine nice and tall. Inhale, on your exhale, twist and look behind you. So drawing the left leg in towards the chest, hugging it. Just pausing, this is stretching on the outside of the left hip as well as the spine and stimulating the digestive organs. On your next breath in, we'll come into the center, support the ankle and the knee, uncross the leg. Remove the strap, and we'll do the same on the other side. So I'll demonstrate now on the other side without the block underneath the knee. So you may still want to have a block underneath your right knee, but the more you practice, the more that the muscles on the inside of the hips will soften and relax. So sliding a block underneath your left knee, or take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, coming just a little way to start with, always coming gently into each pose, observing where you feel each stretch, only deepening if it feels comfortable and when it feels ready. So nice slow breaths, very gently you can relax. Down into the pose, removing the block the more you practice and the more the hamstrings and the lower back start to relax. Inhale, slowly coming up, nice and gently. We'll support the outside of the knee, draw the leg in, bring the sole of the foot onto the mat, hug with the left arm, the right hand behind the back, sitting up nice and tall. As you inhale, nice deep breath, and then exhale very slowly, twisting, and imagine that you want to look behind you, trying to relax the shoulders, relax the face. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Just pausing just for a moment. And then on your next breath in, very slowly work your way all the way back to coming into the center. Uncrossing the legs. Removing the straps and the blocks and things just out of the way, and walking out the legs just to relax. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the legs to the side and come up into table pose. So coming onto our hands and knees just for a moment. We'll walk the hands one space forward, very slowly lower all the way onto the mat. Hands just either side of the chest. So in this pose we're going to come into Cobra pose. So resting just the forehead on the chin on the floor just at the moment. The elbows sometimes are out. We want to draw the elbows in. And inhale, slowly lifting up. Lifting the chest and chin off of the mat, and on your exhale, gently lower. We're going to do this another couple of times. So inhale, lifting up. And exhale, very gently lower down. One more. Inhale, on your next breath in, lifting up to wherever feels comfortable. So again, the more you practice, the more the body will soften and relax with time and patience. And exhaling, lowering. Inhale, coming up. Halfway this time, we'll slide the elbows forwards to come into sphinx. So just pausing here. You can either relax down into the pose or you can actively lift up, whichever feels more comfortable on the back. If you've got any lower back discomfort, very slightly tilt the pelvic bone towards the ground, which subtly lifts the abdomen off of the mat. And then we'll pause. Just observing where the back feels. Where do you feel the stretch? And then as you exhale, we'll draw the elbows out to the side of the body and gently lower down with your head in one direction. Just pausing for a moment. And then we'll inhale. Bring your head first into the center and then take it all the way over to the other side. Nice slow breaths in and out through the nose. Allowing the lower back to soften and relax. And now we'll inhale, bring your head into the center, hands either side of the chest, tuck under the toes. Inhale, push up onto the knees. And exhale, lowering into child's posture, lowering the head towards the mat, just gently stretching out the back in the other direction. Hands in front of the knees. We'll inhale, push up to sitting. Come up into a close squat, balancing on the toes just for a moment, and then we'll step the feet forward. And very gently shuffle along onto the mat to come down into reclined position. So check that you can reach your tie or your scarf or your yoga strap if you have a yoga strap. Just checking that it's close by. You may need to pause the video if it isn't. So bend the left leg, draw the knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze a few times just to relax the lower back, and then we'll bring the strap around the ball of the foot. And often when you have tight hamstrings, it feels more comfortable to have the knees slightly bent. So to release the stretch in the back of the legs, you're going to bend and straighten the leg a few times. So taking a breath in, exhale, bending, inhale, straighten or half straighten, and exhale, rebend. So doing this a few times in your own time, linking with your own breath. So by bending and straightening the leg, you're helping to soften and release the muscles in the hamstrings in the back of the leg. And we're working towards straightening the leg just for a moment, just to observe where you feel this stretch. So your foot may be slightly lower, this is completely fine. And then we'll come into half happy baby pose. So using the strap, bend the knee. Imagine that you want the knee to come towards the side of the torso, with the sole of the feet up towards the ceiling. So again, bending and straightening very slowly in your own time. Really listening to your own body, and then we'll pause for a moment until you feel a stretch on the back of your thigh. So you can hold the strap if you can't touch the foot, and then the more you practice, the more accessible it will be to hold the foot. We'll straighten the leg again, just relax the back of the muscle. And then rebend, inhaling, straighten, and exhale, rebending. Inhale, straighten the leg, and just pause with the leg straight this time, having a stretch on the back of the whole of the leg, holding the strap. Take the outside of the foot, then straighten, and then bend and straighten, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. One more, inhale, bend, and then hold for a moment till you feel a nice stretch on the outside of the the back of the thigh. Then we'll gently straighten the leg up, remove the strap, use the strength in the thigh, pushing away the heels, slowly, nice and controlled, lowering down. Before we do the other side, so bending down the right leg, draw the knee in to the stress, give it a good stretch. Bring the strap around the ball of the right foot, so again having the knee bent, just to have a gentle stretch, and then the more you practice this, the more that the leg will be slightly straighter. So we'll bend and straighten the leg a few times, inhaling and exhaling through the nose to help release the hamstring. And we'll take a breath in, straightening the leg, and exhale softly, working the foot towards the head. Then we'll come into half happy baby pose, so drawing the knee towards the armpit. We'll bend and straighten, just warming up the leg first, coming into this pose on this side, and then pause. So you may want to hold the strap, you may be able to hold the calf, the ankle, or you may be able to reach the outside of the foot, stretching on the back of the thigh, drawing the knee towards the armpit. Nice slow breathing. And then taking hold of the strap, straighten the leg again to release the leg. Having a stretch, pushing away the heel on the back of the leg. Take one more breath in and exhale, re-bend the knee again. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, straighten. We'll pause for a moment, having a stretch along the back of the leg. Moving our hands on the strap wherever feels comfortable, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. And then we'll bend the knee, release the strap, take a breath and use the strength of the thigh, and exhale, slowly, slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Just pause, walking out the legs, relaxing the legs just for a moment. And then we'll draw the knees into the chest, give them a good hug. So rocking very gently from side to side, just massaging the legs. We can have the knees slightly open, just to relax around the hips. We can take hold of the ankles on the inside of the legs. And then draw the knees in together, take a breath in, exhale, bring the feet onto the floor. Slide away the legs and come in to resting in Shavasana for a moment. So relaxing the shoulders down the back, palms gently curled up towards the ceiling. Softening the muscles around the eyes. Just take a moment just to observe how you're feeling. So remember, with anything, the more you practice, the more natural it will become with time and patience. But always listen to your own body. You should never feel any pain, just a comfortable stretch. Just a couple more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So I'd recommend trying to practice this a few times a week if you have the time, or every other day. We'll start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes to start to wake up the body. Stretch the arms up over your head on your next inhale, pushing away the heels. And then as you exhale, draw the knees into the chest, give them a good hug. Gently rocking from side to side, giving your back a nice massage. And then rock completely onto your right hand side, push into the floor. You can either come and sit on your blocks for a moment if your knees are still very high, or just coming into whichever position feels comfortable. Closing the eyes, just observe how you're feeling. Always take a moment after any yoga practice to thank yourself for dedicating time to you and your own health and well-being. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. We'll start to rub the palms together today, warming up the hands. And then when you're ready, cover the eyes, warming up the back of the eyes with the warm palms. Keeping your eyes closed, we'll rub the hands together again. And then cup the eyes, this time looking into the palms, gently blinking the eyes open. And we'll lower the hands down, getting your eyes used to being open without the brightness of the light. We'll bring the hands together. Namaste. And we'll finish here. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye. Please also, if you've enjoyed this video, please click on the like button below and write me a comment to let me know how you're doing. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sarah Lane Therapist. Thank you.